Great to see you again, man.
Likewise, man.
Look after
See you there
yourself.
tonight.
See you there. See you in a
Great
bit.
to hear you two talking about how awesome the Black Phone is as well.
Yeah.
I love that movie. I watched it last week.
Was it the first time that you saw it?
See you
So
in a
I
bit.
was really late to it as well. I'm AJ.
I'm sure.
Oh, okay. Well, you know, I think I saw you talking on the internet
You
about.
more than like, if it was on the internet and you saw something, it was probably me. I live on there.
I don't usually. I just kind of restarted it after, I think it's 5 years that I was off Twitter. And I was like, let's give it a shot and see how it is now. So I turned it back on. I was like, everybody's still mad at each other.
Yeah.
See, that's how it works.
I'm going to make that my first question then. So you were on Twitter.
Mm-hmm.
You went off Twitter for 5 years. Mm-hmm. Was there a reason you went off Twitter?
Yeah, I didn't want to be canceled.
Yeah.
I was concerned.
Do you think you were in danger of being?
No, I was uncomfortable with the vibe, I guess I should say. And I don't mean that like universally, I mean for me. Like I'm not somebody that processes whatever that energy is, that is Twitter, or I haven't had a Facebook account in 12, 13 years. It just makes me I already do a really good job at creating anxiety on my own. I don't need any extra. And not only that, personally as like a storyteller or someone, it doesn't always seem like the kind of environment where people can be coming together, and there's enough of that going on in the world, you know. I don't need all that extra strife and conflict, and I became a dad, and I was plugged into doing that, and it just started to I started to have a ton of anxiety, and there were relationships that were ending for me based on something that someone would say.
That's so saddening.
Yeah, I mean, the people that I knew really well, but you also don't want to find out, like, I'll just be real about it, like, you don't want to find out that somebody that you were friends with is a Trump supporter. And so, you know, I'd be like, oh shit, and it's like, oh man. And people would start finding me that I was related to on there, and I was like, I'm extremely progressive, and I'm a freak, and this isn't gonna end well for me. I need to take a break and get out of here. So I did. And it was a huge mistake to log back in, but I'm still there.
You're still there.
As of now.
Good.
As of now, we'll see.
I think with Twitter, because I spend a lot of time on Twitter's Grimmfest now, because lots of people go on their Twitter and tweeting everything. I think it's fine if you stay on the path. So you talk to filmmakers, you go, I like you, I get on with you, so I'm going to carry on talking. If you click on hashtags or reply to some random person who's got an opinion that's not yours, that's when it starts.
It's like I got out of high school. Like I was very happy to escape high school and adolescence, and sometimes Twitter to me can feel very much like very easily can devolve into that same sort of like shouting match, bullying, mob mentality stuff that, you know, as someone who grew up in the deep south of the United States and was really ecstatic to escape, it could feel a lot like that sometimes.
There's not a lot of discussion goes on social media.
Yeah, there's no nuance.
You don't agree with me, so therefore I'm going to
machine.
come after you.
Yeah.
And it's a shame. People should discuss and learn. And so on.
Yeah, it's very tribal. You know, it's like it's very much like going to a football match. You know, so it's like you're either with us or you're against us.
You're either Xbox or PlayStation. You're
Exactly.
either Marvel, you're either
Pepsi or Coke. It's a Cold Wars. It's the Cold Wars all over again.
I like both. You know, I like Marvel, I like DC.
Yeah.
I have an Xbox and a PlayStation.
Yeah.
I'm good. So one of the questions I had for you, because your filmography is amazing.
Thank you.
Where did AJ the writer come from?
That was the first one. The first person. So I've been writing since I was 4 years old. And what ends up happening with a lot of like the micro world that I live in is that, like a cheap example that I can give is that I cam-opped a couple of shots on The Sacrament, the movie that I did with Ty. I don't have a DP credit on that. Ty shot almost that entire movie. But, you know, like another example, like Hatchet 2, I'm such a fan of the genre, and so it's been a dream come true. I've been very open about that my whole career. It's like all I wanted to do was make genre stuff. So getting to work with you know, Kane and Tony Todd and Tom Holland and becoming friends with Danny Harris, I was so stoked to be on that movie that the days that I wasn't working, I showed up and I put on a headset and was a PA. So that's kind of a roundabout answer to your question. I have been doing it longer than I've been acting, but when college, so like Jacob, who directed this movie and co-wrote it with me, we went to college together. So did Scott Poitras, who's in the film as well, and we went to high school together. So when we were learning about making movies, we were doing job on that you could do on a set. But it became clear pretty quickly like where our areas of focus were. And so Poythress and mine were going to be in front of camera. We'd always wanted to be. I always wanted to perform, and I always also wanted to direct, and I always wanted to be a writer. I just wanted to be around movies. I wanted to make them in any capacity that I could. So if someone were to ask me, like I don't have a lot in terms of like actors that I can point to and go inspiration, but like I could talk endlessly about Roger Corman. I have more of that mentality. So as a writer, I'm credited on this because I wrote it and then took it to Jacob and then we started reworking it. I've kind of always done it. So it is interesting. It is interesting to now have a name in it and be like.
So people are
can't complain about something.
You decided to write like within the past couple of years, and
yeah.
You've got to explain.
Well, also it opens up to more criticism, which is fine. Which I'm fine with.
But that was one of the other questions I had as well. So you're watching a film that you're acting in. You're watching a film that you've co-written. What is it like to sort of anticipate the reaction of both? Because obviously somebody's like, I saw a film you've written and blah blah blah.
Yeah.
Then I saw a film that you wrote.
Yeah.
Because they're both very sort of personal experience.
Yeah.
You're up there on the screen in different mediums.
Yeah.
So what is it like?
So at the end of the day, I'm pretty unique in terms of the at least the actors that I know or the filmmakers that I know when it comes to concepts of criticism. If I got what I was trying to do with it or close to, if I got an approximation to this is what my intent was and this is what the final product was, if those are fairly close together, then criticism doesn't, and praise, they're both kind of interchangeable. Like it's like, okay, well, I did the best that I could, and hopefully this spoke to somebody, and hopefully they got it. I don't do it. I always think it's funny when people are like, I make it for the fans, and what I hear when someone says that is that like they're very sensitive to critics, to criticism in general, and I'm not. Like if I'm gonna put myself out there, then that's part of the game. It's like I would prefer that everything I work on people really like and that people can relate to, because I can only speak for me and the ones that I've worked on try really hard. Like we put a lot of work and effort into this. I mean, this one was years in the making. And so you do your best, and sometimes there's swings and a miss, but like I've been lucky, like a lot of the people that I associated with as friends and collaborators are, when you get to call Ty West a friend, chances are you can work on something somebody's going to enjoy watching it. And at the end of the day, that's really what it's about. It's like, is there somebody out there who for 90 minutes can forget about, if they had a shitty day, they can forget about it for an hour and a half.
And that's what I do with films.
Yeah.
Some films I watch and I love. Some films I watch and I like. Some films I watch and I may not like them, but I will always be able to.
Sometimes that thing happens to me on the same film. I'll start off going, and then I will not stop watching it, and I'll go, wait, I love this now. And it's a very confusing experience sometimes.
Sometimes I'll watch a film and I'll finish the film and go, I didn't like that. And then 2-3 days later I'll go, I really love that film actually, and it takes a little bit of time.
There's sometimes films with me, like I watched The Shining as a kid and I was like, what the hell is this? And I kept trying. My friend Drew, who traveled with me, he's a big fan of that, a big fan of Kubrick, and we used to fight in college because Drew also went to college with Jacob Scott. We used to argue about Kubrick, and I'd be like, "God, it's too many takes." Like I was on set or something. Like I was a line producer complaining
Kubrick
about
did it wrong.
How dare he spend this much time? And then I was on a flight like a decade later, and I decided to try. Whenever I dislike a movie, I'm willing to constantly give it another shot. Unless it's like a Kirk Cameron Christmas movie, then I'm not going to. Just once. One and done is okay. But I rewatched The Shining on a flight, and I was just like, have you guys ever seen The Shining? This movie's really fucking good. It's amazing. I can't believe anybody would ever criticize this. This is a perfect movie.
I think sometimes you've got to be in a certain mood for a certain type of film.
Yeah,
I think.
for sure.
But, I heard you talking in your previous conversation that you don't often rewatch films.
I used to multiple times. I have an 8-year-old at home.
Tale of Pixar movies I'm constantly there.
Not so much any more
No?
Pixar movies. I'm grateful that we're past that stage.
What stage are we on now?
Oh man, it's still a lot of Disney Plus. It's always like Halloween-y style stuff.
Yeah.
Because my co-parent, like does TV for Blumhouse, is an executive TV person at Blumhouse. So our daughter is like he's been around it. You know, like she had a guy she called Papa George, which is George P. Wilbur, who played Myers in Part 4, which I think is the most underrated Halloween film. But that's for a different conversation. I know that we're not here to talk about Halloween.
We're here to talk about this amazing film, Night Sky, which
I've
I have not seen yet. I'm looking forward to.
boring.
You find it boring? Not recommended.
At this point, well, Scott's great. So
But I'm very
much.
much looking forward to watching it. You're doing a talk on Sunday as well, which I'm looking forward
Apparently,
to.
I can't imagine
Why
that
would you
anybody's
apparently?
gonna,
You're going to be there.
I
You're going to be
can't
able to
imagine
talk.
that anyone's going to be there.
I'll be there. So
Well,
at least there's
that's,
one person.
that's more a statement about like the quality of your life.
Yeah,
that you have to
I've
decide what's in me too. I'm so sorry.
You'll be there.
You're right.
You'll be there.
He
He's
might.
not even paying attention.
He's looking for
watching
Wi-Fi.
Shine.
He's
But
probably on his iPhone.
very much looking forward to Night Sky. Absolute pleasure to meet you. And I am looking forward to your talk tomorrow.
Thank you so much,
Well, you are welcome.
and thanks for coming out to watch it.
You're welcome. Can I grab you quick?
Absolutely.
In fact, no, I don't know if anybody took pictures. And can I get you to sign my book?
Of
I
course.
have pens.
If you have one that's too dark, okay, I brought some. So you need the silver one or whatever.
Silver, I think.
Silver.
Don't think the gold one works.
That's so prepared with your Sharpies.
I've got them in that bag.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. In the time of COVID, it's
Yeah.
like I don't know how people feel. I try to not cough directly into anyone's mouth.
I never breathe when I'm in a room with anybody.
Yeah, I've not breathed the last
So
hour.
I will
this
take a
room.
lungful of breath when I go outside. But I'm really looking forward to you talking.
Did you want a picture together?
Yes, please.
You'll see me now be taking 3 again. I'll be on to the third.
Yeah, just so you know, she's gonna do
Oh, you could
3 of them.
You could do like 4 of them.
Which way are we doing it?
Whichever way you wish you was.